Right. Let's see what I missed. Probably not a lot, I would imagine, as this is a nondescript weekend. Certainly not the kind of weekend where something would be announced, something of note. I seriously doubt it. Let's have a look. Wait a minute, what is... What? Oh, why does this always happen when I'm away? We cannot make it up at this point. It's quite clearly a trend. I need to stop leaving the house. Or actually, more accurately, I need to leave the house more often, because apparently every time I do, whenever I'm nowhere near my recording setup, we get some major Bleach news, or a new core begins, or something. At this point, it's just written in the stars that that's how it's supposed to be. And this time, we may have got the biggest announcement I could have ever hoped for. I'm so sorry this is late. There was nothing I could do about it, and as soon as I saw it on Reddit, the news, my head was in my hands. And I knew it was... I knew it was the real deal because there was nothing I could do about it. But I mean, here we are now. I'm just freewheeling this with no script or anything because, to be honest, I still can't believe it, but at the same time, I do believe it, and I'm very, 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 very excited. So excited that it's exactly if this is and before we go completely crazy, it is still technically unconfirmed. Obviously, I imagine all of you by now know exactly what I'm talking about, but we may as well just lay it all out. So, it was announced on the Twitter account Shonen Jump News, which we have cited before. It is well known for being highly credible. That Bleach will be returning to Weekly Shonen Jump with a, say it with me now, Hell Arc serialization. This is exactly what we wanted, to the degree that I still cannot believe it. Like, we've said on this channel plenty of times before that, what if Kubo has been, for the last 5 years or so, plotting, writing, drawing the Hell Arc in total secret, while obviously waiting for the 1,000-Year Blood War arc anime to be over and done with. And I thought, foolishly, although again, nothing's been officially announced yet at the time of recording this, I thought foolishly that they would wait until after the anime was over before making any kind of announcement, or it would come, like, with the final episode. But oh no. Oh no, apparently not. Apparently this is happening imminently. I really hope it hasn't happened by the time this video goes live, or I'll be making another one. Let's just read what Shonen Jump News has to say. More than anything, just to reaffirm to me that this may actually be real. So, the tweet from them reads as follows. According to multiple leaks, Bleach by Tight Kubo will be returning to Weekly Shonen Jump with a Hell Arc serialization. Sakamoto Days by Yuto Suzuki will be ending in the upcoming weeks, freeing a slot in the magazine for this new Bleach series. Are you kidding me? So here's the thing. Here's the rub. Is this going to be weekly? I mean, that is my ultimate dream come true. I mean, again, a lot of this probably, I guess, depends on how much Kubo does already have banked. But if this is actually going to be weekly, Color me really surprised. I'm really, really surprised because obviously, by the end of Bleach, as we all know, back in 2016, Kubo was really suffering. Really, really suffering. His shoulder was like knackered. He was like just really, really unwell, as you would expect from the strain, the constant strain that comes with being a weekly serialized manga artist. So I'm genuinely shocked if this turns out to be a weekly. Basically, whenever I hypothesize that the Hell Arc might be a thing in the future, and to be fair, I've always kind of maintained that I thought it would happen. There was just too much smoke. The Hell Chapter 1 shot, I mean, that was that was basically, I would assume, a kind of testing ground to gauge interest. And then the Thousand Year Blood War Arc anime has been such a hit that it's kind of blown the doors wide open. And I'm assuming that Kubo has got some ready to go. But yeah, I'm genuinely shocked by this. And again, if Sakamoto Days is ending fairly imminently, if it only has a few chapters left, does that mean Hell Arc is back? Well, not back. Well, I guess back, because it technically started in 2021. Is that going to be happening soon? Like, at the same time as Core 4? That is not something I would have ever envisaged. But it's awesome. I mean, what an insane time to be a Bleach fan. What an insane comeback. Obviously, again, if the Hell Arc arrives in August, it's obviously the anniversary of the Bleach manga, which in turn as well is the 5-year anniversary of the Hell Chapter 1 shot, which came out in August of 2021, as I mentioned a number of times before. So not only have we waited, obviously, since the end of Bleach itself in 2016, we've also been waiting since 2021, and have heard really hide nor hair of this again, although Kubo has dropped the occasional tease every now and then as well. That definitely has been a thing. And fittingly, I was at a work... You might remember if you were watching this channel at that time, I was out at a work party when that Hell Arc chapter dropped. And I basically had to be like, nice to see you guys, I'm going to go. And I came back and did the live read. And it was worth it. And obviously, ever since then, we've been completely enraptured by the idea of the Hell Arc. And it looks like it might actually be happening. Now, again, as far as I can see, nothing has been officially announced yet. But again, this is a very, very credible account. They don't just put stuff out there. Like I said a minute ago, I both did and didn't think this day would come. Like, it's like one of those things where you, like, imagine it and then suddenly it's here. If it's weekly, it blows my mind. Also, I'll finally be able to continue to add volumes to my shelf. Not that I ever felt the story was necessarily incomplete, but, like, there is still a lot missing, technically. Kyoraku never got a volume cover. Now maybe he can. Maybe he'll be 75, although I seriously doubt it. And actually, I don't think. So here's another thing we can talk about. Will it carry on? I mean, it says obviously on here a new Bleach series. That could either be the wording for it, or it will be called Bleach something. It might just be called Bleach New Breaths from Hell, or New Breathes from Hell, or something like that. And then we may start from 1 again. But even so, I'm putting it next to 74. I'm putting it next to 74 when it comes out, and it's gonna feel like the continuation I've been waiting however long for at this point. And of course, we have gone over this time and time again, but there is so much potential here. Part of the reason why the fan base has never let the idea of the Hell Arc die is because it's so compelling in the first place. It's like the coolest possible idea. And it's like, not only is it an awesome way to get Hell involved in the story, finally, but it gives Kubo, like, the easiest way to bring back old characters in a way that actually works and makes sense. And clearly, in my opinion, has been set up as such. I would be flabbergasted if the original Gotei 13 are not involved in some major way. Hopefully, I'm not going to say probably, hopefully, I think that they would be the perfect villainous organization of the arc. That would be fantastic, but Kubo could go with something totally new. new denizens of hell that we don't know about, or at the very least, hell might be, ruled by some being that we don't know about. I'm giddy. I cannot believe it, but I can believe it because I've been harping on about it for however long. I think there's some talk that Kubo, there might be, like, the announcement might be imminent, especially if it is taking the place of Sakamoto Days and that's ending soon. I'm just absolutely, I'm astonished. I'm astonished in the best possible way. Like, this is potentially everything that we were hoping for. I mean, what a win. What a win for Kubo, for Bleach. What an enormous comeback. For many of us, it never really went away, which is funny to say because the series ended like definitively in 2016, really. But then, we always kind of hoped that the Thousand Year Blood War Arc anime would be made. We were playing Bleach Brave Souls. Brave Souls did an amazing job at just keeping the franchise going, to be totally honest. But it's just absolutely bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers that we're actually here. I seriously I lost my mind when I saw this, and I was like, I can't make a video. I have to make a video, but I physically can't. And I tell you one thing as well. I'm telling you right now, I'm actually going to be away again when this Anime Expo panel is supposed to be happening. However, I'm going to make a concerted effort to just take all my stuff with me, like a laptop or whatever, and we are going to do whatever happens. Something's going to happen. I'm going to do something for it because I just can't miss out on this. This is the most exciting thing as a Bleach fan that has pretty much happened in very recent years. Like, this is everything I could have possibly wanted, and more. It's more because Kubo is doing more than I would have really expected it, and I just hope he's all right, and I assume he is. I assume he's venerated at this point. He is presumably coming back because he has a story he wants to tell and he knows people want to hear it. So I would have always assumed he was coming back on his own terms, as like one of those Hall of Famers. So hopefully the way this is going to be churned out is hopefully going to be what he wants, and he's not going to hurt himself or feel horrible anymore, feel completely run down anymore. Or maybe he's just very refreshed and he's really ready to get back to work. I don't know. I've no idea. I'm just very, very excited. Like, on this, it's just this is so surreal. Surreal is like the best word, because it is like my dream coming true before my very eyes. After 12 years, Bleach is returning to Weekly Shonen Jump with the Hell arc. It says it's designated as a rumor on the board Reset Era, where we've cited them a number of times. Shout out to Neon Zell again, friend of the channel. To see this actually up here as a thread is mind-blowing. And I also want to say as well, just a big shout out and a huge thank you to everyone who reached out to me while I was indisposed, but they were just like, Hell Arc's real. Hell Arc serialization is happening. The Hell Arc announced, and I'm just like losing my mind. Yeah, and what does this mean? What does this mean? That's the big question. What does this mean for the anime? Is the anime... I'm actually now leaning to... Well, I mean, if there's going to be overlap between the anime and the manga, that's a little bit different. However, I am slightly leaning towards the anime maybe actually adapting the Hell chapter at the very end. Like that would maybe be the final episode. That would be so awesome. But then I don't know if that would create an expectation of, well, we now need to animate the Hell arc like immediately, or if they would just wait until it was over, whenever that is. I mean, that's another question. How long is this arc going to be? If it's weekly, how much material does Kubo have planned? If the villains are the original Gotei 13, that's like a minimum of 13 bad guys, potentially. Unless there's like some flip-flopping or whatever. We could be looking at something that's like as long as the Soul Society arc, maybe slightly longer. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. This is the thing. This is like hype unleashed. That's what they should call it. Bleach hype unleashed, because that's kind of where I am right now. It kind of feels like very big things are basically going to happen anytime now. Like, this next week could be absolutely crazy. This next week could be one for the books, and I am very excited to be there. There's already been a bunch of stuff come out about the Thousand Year Blood War Arc Core 4, and I'll talk about that in a separate video. Yeah, I think it's a very good time to be a Bleach fan, if that wasn't obvious already. There's not really an awful lot else to say. I mean, there is. I could theorize and espouse for like a long time, but we've done a lot of that before. There is one other thing though I want to mention, and that is that Kubo released a new piece of artwork. Kubo rather conspicuously dropped a new piece of artwork, and guess who the subject is? Oh, surprise, surprise, it's Kazui. What are we doing here? What are we doing? He's playing he's playing a game. And I'm all in. So there's this image of Kazui. A lot of people have been saying he has the almighty. I don't think so. That is not where my mind went. I think he's just got those childish sparkles of like excitement lighting up his eyes. It could be the almighty. I mean technically it does look like it. I kind of feel like if it was the almighty and Kubo actually wanted us to think that, he would have coloured the eyes slightly differently, either colouring the irises or colouring the bit around them to really make that stand out. And also, I don't think, I mean, we don't know a lot about Kazui's character, truth be told, but I think this facial expression seems about right for him, to be totally honest. So I don't think this is the almighty. I don't really see why Kazui would have the almighty, to be totally honest. I'm also kind of not expecting the Soul King to really play a big role in this arc, if I'm completely honest. Like, it kind of feels like the conflict surrounding Adnias, Yuhab arc, that's done. You know, in the 1,000 Year Blood War. Now, of course, the anime might end in a different way, and I'm like, I eat those words. You know, that it might turn out that they're going to play a huge role. But I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. But interestingly, so in the comments of this post, Reddit user Light Dark Unknown had this to say. The word, and then they show the character, which is on the picture of Kazui, in Japanese/Chinese means either mischief or disaster. So Kazui has been doing this is then their speculation, Kazui has been doing his mischief by sending souls to who knows where. That mischief might become a disaster later on in the series. So, I mean, that seems like just another enormous Hell arc tease, and I kind of wonder if we might just keep getting these until the announcement's actually made. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he does have the almighty. I just don't know, and I also don't know that it would be revealed like this either. That feels like a pretty huge deal. And for Kubo to just throw up a piece of artwork and be like, he has the almighty, it's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. That feels like a massive plot point, but I mean, he did destroy Yuha Bark's power and I guess spoilers for the end of the anime, potentially, and if they change it, he did destroy Yuha Bark's power just by like touching it, like snuffs it out of existence, and maybe he absorbed some of it. I'm not really sure. I don't really know how I feel about that. But yeah, I mean, I'm just rambling. I'm literally just rambling at this point. This is what happens when I don't have a script. I go off the reservation. There's not really much else for me to say other than we're going to keep our eyes open. Of course, we're going to be staying tuned to the news like a hawk. And I'm going to be ready to, hopefully on time this time, get it to you. As soon as any kind of official announcement is made, we're going to be going crazy over this thing. The Hell arc being, it looks like real after all this time, feels like serious vindication. And I'm very, very excited. The possibilities are limitless for how awesome this could actually be. And then, is this like the true final arc of Bleach, or is this a new Bleach? Is this actually a Bleach sequel? Also, what happened to Burn the Witch? I mean, is that just not happening? I've always maintained that I would rather get the Hell arc than Burn the Witch, so like, I'm okay with it as it stands currently, but I'd still love to see that at some point, but it's very hot in here. Anyway, I think that's it for this video. Again, I'm so very sorry it is overdue, but I had to get it out anyway. I'm very, very excited. I cannot believe it, yet at the same time, I believe it's so fantastic to see. And I'm very excited. And I'm very happy for Kubo as well. Like, I'm really, really happy. Like, you know, this kind of resurgence of Bleach, so well deserved. You know, it does feel like Bleach kind of gets dunked on a lot. And reading, and I tell you what as well, reading some of the comments, I try to stay away from all of this as much as possible, to be totally honest. I barely look at any of it. And I think a lot of that comes from the fact that back in the day, I used to be quite engaged with that. And people used to really, really dunk on Bleach a lot back in the day, especially during the Lost Agent arc and then the second half to the final third of the Thousand Year Blood War arc. And I did used to engage in that, and it's exhausting. And I think, why bother? Like, what better validation is there, as if it's even necessary? But like, the series is clearly still has the power to reach so many people. It's still massive. The Thousand Year Blood War arc anime has done an incredible job. Also, I've grown up a lot since then. You know, I'm not the same person I was back in 2012, 2013, etc. 2010. You know, back in the fake Karakura Town arc, people hate that as well. It's just the nature of being online, I think. I'm getting all sentimental. That's what this has done to me. I need to end. I'm just going to wrap this video up, to be totally honest, before maybe I start crying or something. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm very, very excited. I cannot wait to see what happens. And if the Hell arc is happening weekly, I'm going to have to think about what I do with this channel. Like, what do you guys want to see? Would you like to see a similar cadence to the anime, where we do maybe like a live reaction first read and then we do a real deep dive review? I don't know. Again, the possibilities are endless. So no matter what, I appreciate all of you for being here and for joining me, and it seems like we're really going to get what we want. Again, nothing's confirmed, but it really seems like it to me. We'll just leave it like that. All right, everyone, thank you so very much for watching this rambling, frankly, probably nonsensical video. I do greatly appreciate your patience as well. Let me know down in the comments below. I mean, how are you feeling about this? Do you think it's real? I mean, for starters, I guess that's the most important question. Is this actually happening? Is it happening soon? I'd love to get all of your thoughts down below, so do please let me know. Hit subscribe if you haven't done already. This is a fantastic time. If you're new to the channel, or if you just haven't committed yet to hitting that button, this is the best time to do so, because we're potentially about to blow the doors wide open. There's going to be so much awesome stuff to talk about, to have so many chats and conversations about, and speculations and all that sort of thing. So consider hitting subscribe now. And if you want to take the support another step further, I do have a Patreon as well. And again, your support over there would be greatly, greatly appreciated, just like everyone on the screen right now is doing. Thank you all so, so very much. All right, guys, well, until next time, I'll catch you later. And who knows where we'll be, you know, this time next week. I guess we'll find out. But until then, I'll catch you later, and I'll see you then.